on the debate of whether AI is a bubble or not, where do you stand and why? If you say it's a bubble, some economists and researchers will argue that you need to review history and technology. That is, we have historical moments where people said whatever was happening was a bubble, but the results eventually told a different story. For instance, some people said the industrialization of America was a bubble, but over 80% of farmers were replaced by machines eventually. So it wasn't a bubble, but a structural transformation of the economy. In our case, will history repeat and AI end up replacing millions of workers, but now in almost every industry? Another example you might hear is about the day the horse lost its job. The American economy and society was dependent on horses for almost everything, including pulling fire engines in New York City, pulling trolleys, carriages, delivery carts, brewery wagons, city vehicles, and omnibuses. But the horse lost its job at the arrival of the car and electrified railways. People adopted the new mode of transportation, and an article by Microsoft details how the horse population declined after the first Ford model came out in 1908. If you stand on the ground that AI is not a bubble and will result in structural transformation of the labor market, there is one study that's putting a number to how many workers current AI systems are capable of replacing. The study was released by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in November 2025. And it suggests that artificial intelligence could already replace 11.7% of the US labor market. But wait a second. If AI is already capable of replacing them, why are we not seeing it happening yet? Hold on to that thought, we will come back to it later. To arrive at this percentage, Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the Oak Ridge National Laboratory created a labor simulation tool called the Iceberg Index. Basically, the tool takes 151 million workers across the US and treats them as individual human agents. Each is tagged with skills, tasks, occupation, and location. So far, the index maps more than 32,000 skills across 923 occupations in 3,000 counties. Then it measures where current AI systems can already perform those skills cheaply compared to human labor. That's more like saying, these are the skills being performed now by particular human agents, and here's the likelihood of those skills being automated or augmented by current AI systems. Can you guess which skills these are? If you said tech-related skills like coding, that's only part of the story. The index's simulations show other exposed occupations include routine functions in human resources, logistics, finance, and office administration across all 50 states. In other words, most of the potential disruption is in traditional back office and professional roles that haven't been discussed much in AI debates. Does that make you wonder when exactly AI will come for these white collar jobs? MIT researchers clarify that the index is not a prediction engine about exactly when or where jobs will be lost. Instead, it gives a skills centered overview of what the AI systems available can already do and gives policymakers an opportunity to explore what if scenarios before committing money and legislation. Now, back to the thought you've been holding on to for a minute. If AI is already capable of replacing 11.7% of white collar workers at a cost that's either competitive with or cheaper than human labor, why are we not seeing it happening yet? For now, economists say capability does not automatically translate into widespread job losses. Also, some earlier study by MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory revealed that fully replacing human workers with AI remained too expensive or impractical in the near term, even where the technology could perform the tasks. So, the study is more about the gap between what is visible today and what is possible. Or is it that what we say is not visible is happening in our eyes and we are missing it? I mean, there's been a wave of big companies announcing massive job cuts in 2025. Amazon said it would eliminate around 14,000 corporate positions. The United Parcel Service, or UPS, said it had reduced its operational workforce by 34,000 jobs this year. General Motors laid off roughly 1,700 workers and Paramount terminated 1,000 people. Is AI behind these historic layoffs? If we go by what the companies are saying, it's a yes and a no or case by case situation. You would get a straight yes from Salesforce's Mark Benioff, who claimed AI is already doing up to 50% of the company's workload. Another yes would be from Swedish fintech firm Klarna, which said it has downsized its workforce by 40% as it adopts AI. For the other companies announcing layoffs, some have said they are reducing their headcounts to redirect resources to artificial intelligence. Others say they're doing it to respond to President Donald Trump's tariff policies and his administration's other priorities. Within tech, most companies, including Amazon, Palantir, Salesforce, and fintech firm Klarna, say they've cut or plan to reduce their workforce due to AI adoption. Also, Ford CEO Jim Farley says AI will replace literally half of all white collar workers. That's not far from a Goldman Sachs estimate that 6% to 7% of U.S. workers could lose their jobs because of AI adoption. Another sobering statistic is from the Stanford Digital Economy Lab. They used ADP employment data and found that entry level hiring in AI exposed jobs has dropped 13% since large language models started increasing rapidly. The report said software development, customer service, and clerical work are the types of jobs most vulnerable to AI today. If you're working at Shopify, you'll be expected to prove why you cannot get what you want done using AI before asking for more headcount and resources. So it seems behind the scenes, companies are redirecting resources to adopt AI instead of hiring more. Will this trend continue sustainably and successfully replace the majority of white collar workers? I would say no one can tell with certainty. But it's not all negative and doom for white collar workers. We have seen automations and revolutions happening before in different industries. Human labor was replaced by technology in different tasks like the printing press, ATM machine, self checkout machine, or online booking agency. Eventually, new jobs come up and economies adapt. So, if a structural replacement happens, we can be on the lookout for which new jobs will emerge. There was a report by the World Economic Forum earlier in 2025 that estimated a displacement of about 92 million jobs by 2030 while adding 170 million new roles. And in the case that the replacement isn't very massively successful, we can remember an archived BBC documentary titled Now the Chips Are Down. It was originally released in 1978 and addressed the then hot topic of silicon chips. They said, a chip can be made to do anything from arithmetic to reading a book. Such chips will totally revolutionize our way of life. They are the reason why Japan is abandoning its shipbuilding and why our children will grow up without jobs to go to. That was in the late 70s and clearly didn't play out as the film suggested, right? Instead of people not having jobs to go to, there were a lot more jobs for people born in the 1970s and 1980s. So maybe that World Economic Forum report of 170 million new roles may come to pass, right? We will keep an eye on what these jobs and other developments will be. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to be the first one to know.